side, we do want to thank you for joining us tonight. So viewers, straight into the news tonight. Over 3 months after 7-year-old Angelica Jogi died in a jet ski accident in Tobago, the Director of Public Prosecution, the DPP, has advised that the operator be charged with manslaughter. Senior Superintendent Rodhill Kirk has confirmed that the 32-year-old Canaan resident was rearrested after further investigation into the incident. The suspect was initially detained hours after the July tragedy, but was later released pending additional inquiries. Police said the charge was expected to be laid on Monday, with the accused expected to appear before the court on Tuesday. 7-year-old Angelica Saieed Ali died on April 8, 2026, after she was struck by a jet ski while bathing with relatives at Pigeon Point Heritage Park in Tobago. Police said the jet ski collided with Angelica, her parents, and her uncle inside an area designated for bathers. Angelica suffered multiple traumatic injuries, including severe head injuries, and was pronounced dead at the Scarborough General Hospital. So, Trinidad and Tobago, the parents, friends, and family got justice as it is served. Now, imagine this, Imagine this. We're not going to stay too long on this topic. Imagine this. You're in a designated area. A designated area where you would go to bathe. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this jet ski come flying in. Imagine this, out of nowhere. But as we would say in Trinidad and Tobago, justice is serve a life for a life. But nevertheless, viewers, the parents, friends, and family, they got justice, and it is served. Moving along, Trinidad and Tobago. So viewers, Blue Water Product Limited Executive Chairman Dominic Hadid received an emotional welcome from employees on Monday as he returned to the company's Tacarigua headquarters for the first time since his release from detention. Several workers hugged their longtime employer as he made his way through the facility, thanking staff for their support during his absence. The return came days after Hadid and his wife were released without charges, following almost a month in preventative detention under the SOE regulation. The couple were detained on June 24th after police executed a search warrant at their properties as part of an investigation into an alleged conspiracy to assassinate Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar and other senior government officials. No criminal charges were laid against either of them. Their detention sparked a series of legal challenges that progressed from the High Court to the Court of Appeal, and untimely, the Judiciary Committee of the Privy Council. So viewers, I'll tell you this, sometimes you have a boss that is good to workers, and when he is not around, sometimes the workers miss the boss because they are not seeing him. They are not seeing him. And for the Hadid, now let's forget what the whole scenario is about. For the Hadid, he does probably treat his workers in a way that when he's not there, he is missed. And then again, there are some bosses, when you see them, it's like, what are you doing here? Better you didn't stay home, I could work comfortable. There are bosses like that. There are bosses that sometimes staff wish that, hey, you could come every day. We just like how you just treat us. And some again is like, boss, why you didn't stay home? So he was congratulated by his workers. They had a little ball for him, but he's out without charges. And you know, in Trinidad they say, innocent until proven guilty. That's what they say. But at the end of the day, he has been reunited with his workers. They give him a huge, warm welcome, lots of hugs and kisses, probably a little food, maybe a little cake, you know, something to drink, and they are celebrating his return. So while they are doing that, in another note, the Commissioner of Police, Alistair Grovero, has ordered an immediate investigation into the circulation of an audio recording on social media alleged to contain intercepted communication citing serious national security concerns. In a media release earlier today, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, TTPS, said Assistant Commissioner of Police and Andy Tiwari will lead the investigation to determine the originality and the authentication of the recording, whether it involves communication lawful intercepted under the Interception of Communication Act, and how it may have entered the public domain. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, I'll tell you this, over the years, we have seen sensitive information being leaked into the public domain. Sensitive information. Now, from then to now, the public, social media, has been privy to information that's not supposed to be into the public domain. This has been going on for years and years and years. Sometimes documents go missing in the courthouse. Sometimes drugs go missing in the station. And this has been going on for years. It is not something that happened yesterday or last week. This has been going on for years. For years and years and years. In government building, you find documents missing. In courthouse, document missing. In the station, documents missing. You can't get evidence. Rat eating out, all kind of thing. This has become a way of life in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, the TTPS remind the public that the Act forbids the unauthorized disclosure of intercepted communication. It added that the probe will also examine whether any person unlawfully disclosed protected information and whether there were breach of operational security data handling protocols or statutory obligations. Grovero assured the public that this matter is being treated with the highest level of urgency and confidentiality. It's a normal thing. This has been happening in Trinidad and Tobago for quite some time, viewers. This is not the first time. So when I hear the PNM ministers come out and say, oh, security is at risk, this has been happening under the administration also. It's not today it is happening. Not today. So I wasn't surprised that information being leaked. I am not. I am not surprised. It's not the first. Many people had personal things shared on social media and they wondered how it reached there. Nobody was ever charged. Nobody was ever picked up. Nobody was never interviewed. And that's just how it goes. We are living in a time where social media is the platform that secrets be released. Yes, secrets. That word is quite safe to use in scenarios like this. How much time we hear documents missing from the court? How many times? How many times? When the Auditor General were doing her audits, even she didn't have documents. Documents missing. So imagine that. Imagine that. It's a sad thing. What we go do, Trinidadians, And now we would say that, oh, somebody leak it and somebody have to pay. I don't expect anybody to be charged. It's decades this has been happening. But nevertheless, it's not supposed to, but this is it. So, Attorney Farid has urged the government to clear the air over the authentication of the audio recording involving Hadid and her aunt Star Sabga, which they say is in it, which has become the center of an escalation in the public debate on social media. Ali said the state must confirm whether the recording circulation publicly is a leaked version of the audio relied upon when preventative detention order were issued against members of the Hadid family and stars. Listen to this.
It needs to come out in the open and say whether this is indeed a leaked version. We don't know for sure whether that is indeed the audio. I think the public is social media has gone crazy in listening to this, and they're acting disproportionately in relation to what is heard.
So now, viewers, the 15-minute recording captures a private conversation between Sabga and Hadid, during which Sabga was openly criticizing of the Prime Minister, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, her relationship with the current United States administration and the government generally. The debate over the recording comes ahead of Sabga's return to court after experts of the recording were used in an affidavit presented to the court by Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander on Friday. Information contained in the 19-page affidavit dated July 24th, 2026, sworn by Alexander, showed intercepted conversation involving Hadid and Sabga. That is what they say in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, Ali said the public does not yet know whether the audio circulating is the same recording that state relied on before forming a view and before issuing PDOs in the name of the Hadid. He also said the authentication of the audio must also be determined. Listen to this.
It needs to come out in the open and say whether this is indeed a leaked version. We don't know for sure whether that is indeed the audio. I think the public is social media has gone crazy in listening to this, and they're acting disproportionately in relation to what is heard.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, I personally don't want to say much, but this is just what happened over the weekend. This is what has been circulating into the public domain. We don't want to prejudge anything, or we don't want to give it a pre-trial on live television, neither on social media. But we are going to leave it up to the Commissioner of Police to do his investigation. We're going to leave it up to the judges, the jurors. We're going to leave it up to Roger Alexander. They are the law enforcement officers and people involved. So we want to hear what they have to say in the coming days on this leaked document, leaked audio, as they would say. Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, PM accused critics of fueling racial division. More when we return.
We'll be right back.
True growth shouldn't make you wait. This month, Real Talk Financing is changing the timeline. Get up to 7% interest on a fixed deposit paid to you upfront. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Real results, sooner. Call our Central or South branches today.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome
What was that
back.
ad? So Trinidad and Tobago, I just want to remind you, Real Talk Financing is giving you 7% on a fixed deposit, viewers. Remember that. Nobody in this country does it like Real Talk Financing. 7% on our fixed deposit, the highest interest rate that is being paid in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. Viewers, Real Talk Financing creating history in this country, History, Also, those of you who are looking for a little cash borrow, you can contact me at 339-1670. We provide loans for individuals who have collateral, a vehicle, you have your house, you have land, you have gold. We can assist you in one way or the other, whether it's 5,000, 10,000, 50,000. We can assist you, Real Talk Financing. Also, Trinidad and Tobago, you can also open a savings at the credit union. Remember that. Start saving today for the kids, for a brighter future tomorrow. Also, in Real Talk Credit Union, you can come and open an FIP plan. It's a family indemnity plan. So in case your loved one passed away, you can be able to get a little insurance to bury them. It is not expensive, viewers. It is within the reach of your pockets. There are different plans for different price. Come on down to Real Talk Credit Union, 14 Carolina Savannah Road in Shogunas and 23 Sparrow Street in San Fernando. Call our office, viewers. In San Fernando, it's 242-9944. In Central, it's 238-6716. Our numbers are on screen. Call the numbers today. You will get more information on Trinidad and Tobago. So, as we start back our news tonight, Prime Minister Kamal Prasad Bisasa has accused critics of the government anti-crime campaign of attempting to inflame racial tension and undermine Trinidad and Tobago Protective Service. Well, to start off this, I remember Kareem Marcel, who's saying, they hate we and they hate we and they hate we and they hate we. I want to tell Kareem Marcel something. I want to tell him something as a minister, as a young minister growing up, and as a young lawyer growing up. You probably wasn't you was never into the public domain. You understand? To know how to carry about yourself as a minister. You see, when you become a minister, these kind of talk you're talking, you don't talk it. You know why? And I want to remind Kareem tonight that it is the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago decided to vote you out. The citizen. And I am going to use this term and I will not apologize for it. Because I live in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago is not a white man country. I want to let you understand that. It is not a white man country. We are a third world country. This is Trinidad. A third world country. The lawyers, the judge, the magistrate, the police, the nurse, the doctor, the oil field workers, the teacher, the taxi driver, the truck driver, the garbage man, the fireman, we all live in a third world country. Even this individual is seen on television that telling people, oh, they hate we and they hate we and they hate we. But seeing that you grew up in Lavantil and you come out of Lavantil as a lawyer, what did you do for Lavantil to better Lavantil? So that when you hear people traveling on the beatum and their car shut down, they wouldn't get robbed. What did you do? You want to talk about the hate and the hate and the hate, but the people on the beatum causing citizens to hate them by the act that they're carrying out. So when you talk about hate and hate and hate, find out what the beatum people doing. Since you are a lawyer, came out of beatum. Imagine you driving a car and you had a hope that when you're here, you leave Grand Bazaar. You have to hope that your car ain't shut down from Grand Bazaar to the lighthouse. You had a hope because why? You're getting robbed on the beatum. And who doing it, Marcel? Is the people on the beatum. Who you going to blame again? But you want to talk about hate and hate and hate. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Saieed.
Go right ahead.
I live at Waterloo Road in Aruka in Barb Avenue, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have been living here more than 40 years. And
Okay.
there is an empty piece of land that the same people that we buy from the man named Wilfred Barb. Well, he come and he dead. Well, you know, them that have children here, there, and everywhere. So the woman who had it, the daughter, lead to she son. Mr. Saieed, that man will never clean. If you see that place with bush right in the corner of Bath Avenue.
Listen
the
to
bush
this.
is as high as my house. And all that, when he clean it now, he ain't cleaning it the next 10 years. When he clean it now, all the time long ago, I used to pay to clean it. But Mr. Saieed, you cannot afford now. Where you getting money to pay to clean other people's land?
All right, listen to this now, right? All you have to do, where is it, Sandy Grande?
No, in Aruka.
Aruka, right.
What
So
I
what you
know.
have to do, I feel Aruka will fall under the Tunapuna Regional, right. So here where you're going. You're going to the Tunapuna Regional Corporation, right? And you're complaining about the grass on the land. Now the Tunapuna Corporation will send that team to clean it up. And they will send the bill for the owner of the land.
Mr. Saieed, you know how many times I went there and report it, and nobody never come?
Nobody from the corporation?
No.
But there had to be a slack corporation?
But you see, let me tell you something. I don't know why they don't put a price on that man, $5,000. If he ain't cleaning the land, let it put a price on him. He go run, come and he go clean it.
All right, so here what to do.
If I tell you, that is not an easy thing.
Here what to do for me. Take out a video, a little 10 seconds video of the property. Stand up over the road from the property and do a 10 seconds video and take a photograph and send it to 267-7325. The operator will give it the number and we go highlight it. Thank you, my dear. So, Trinidad and Tobago, Kareem saying they hate we and they hate we and they hate we, right? But what Kareem failed to tell Trinidad and Tobago on that platform was that the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago voted him out. Whether it is the Africans, whether it is the Indians, whether it is the Douglas, whether it is the Chinese could vote, whether it is the Spanish could vote, they voted him out. Out the door. So you see all these people, Trinidad and Tobago, all these people who sit down and clapping there for Kareem while he bawling, we hate. I want to let you remember that it was the PNM administration, Mr. Finance, Klangenbert. You see all these people who clapping, watch good. All of them who clapping, right? They forget it was the PNM government where Marcel was a minister in that brought property tax to these same people and them. Why they didn't clap in our platform now? Remember Klangenbert tell all if all they pay all the property tax, all they could seize all their house, all they could lose all their house. You understand? So this is the same people Kareem wants to address and balling they hate. Them is the same set of people who he was talking to voted them out. Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you something now. You see these ministers and them? You just have to listen to them on platform and see what they're doing for community in the real life. Marcel come from Beetham. Successful lawyer as he say. But what he do for Beetham? What he do so that when you hear ongoing citizen with a vehicle shut down and Beetham, you're getting robbed. No wonder why they say they hate Marcel. You wouldn't come out and say the correct thing. But then again, when they're singing for a supper, what you gonna do? When they're singing to get voted by the people who live in a real life in front of you, what you gonna do? I wonder if you get paid off for the CPAP contract you had. I wonder if you get paid off. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to leave that right there. So here it is, as the administration is facing a mountain of criticism over its use of intelligence, preventative detention order, and the assistance from the United States Security Agency in the high-profile allegation assassination plot investigations. Now, in a statement posted on social media today, Prasad Bisasa alleged that people who had benefited from criminal activity had spread false narrative to stoke hatred between the two major ethnic groups while attacking the country's protective service and the United States for supporting Trinidad and Tobago in anti-crime efforts. While saying this, Trinidad and Tobago, I want to remind all you that it was Kate Rowley and I believe it was Fitzgerald Hines who signed the SOFA. What is the SOFA? The SOFA is giving the United States permission to land troops in Trinidad and Tobago. You all remember that? I wonder if you all remember that. It was under the PNM administration, it was under Dr. Kate Rowley, governing Trinidad and Tobago, that the SOFA was signed, giving the United States authorization for plane to land, for security to come, for troops to come, for raiders to set up. But all you want to blame the UNC now, because U.S. troops in Trinidad and Tobago. I am here to remind you that document was signed under the People's National Movement, under the signature of Dr. Keith Rowley. So when all are bashing people and all want to stick all their spokes, as when Marcel would say, they hate we. Marcel saying they hate you and they vote them out. So where the hate coming from? A Trinidad and Tobago? So where the hate coming from? Ask yourself that when the reality is hitting you all. But nevertheless, viewers, nevertheless, her comments followed the publication of the intercepted conversation attributed to Sabgas. The PNM also criticized what she described as social media troll, dredging commentator, race, grifted, and sections as the mainstream media for participating in those acts. I keep on saying, we are 1.4 million people in Trinidad and Tobago. And for decades, Trinidad and Tobago could not see better. Or it couldn't see more than we eye. More than we eye. More than we eye. Imagine Clongenberg giving you 4% and telling you take it or leave it. What I was doing back then, all I had no other choice but to swallow it down like a rock going down all the throat. I ain't picking sides here, you know. I ain't picking sides, you know, but the reality is the reality. Today, there's an investigation into the PNM headquarters. Balize House, as they would say. The PNM brought out a legislation to explain your wealth. Now, Marvin Gonzalez and the PNM administration, we ain't giving it up a pre-trial, you know. But the way they're going is that the books belong to the PNM. And they're not going to explain where they get money from. Well, that is not up to me, you know. That is up to the PNM and the courthouse. But I just reminding you. The citizens of this country forgot when Clongenberg told them, if you do not pay your property tax, you could lose your property. Only forget that. I am here to remind you. Not to go against you, but to open your eyes. I am a citizen living in Trinidad. And if sugar go up by $5, we need sugar to sweeten with tea. You mightn't buy a whole pound, you might buy a half pound and stretch it. Or as some would say, leave the sugar. We don't want to drink the tea. Trinidad and Tobago. We are going for a short commercial break. Stay locked on. When we come back, we're going to talk about Gonzalez on the leaked Sabga Hadid conversation. More when we return.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
True growth shouldn't make you wait. This month, Real Talk Financing is changing the timeline. Get up to 7% interest on a fixed deposit paid to you upfront. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Real results sooner. Call our Central or South branches today.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali.
Welcome back.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Real Talk. Remember Trinidad and Tobago, we are offering 7% on a fixed deposit. Contact our office Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. for information. Also, you can contact me directly at 339-1670 or 267-7325. That's my direct line, Trinidad and Tobago. Feel free to contact me. Remember, you're not going to get offers like these again, You're not. So if you miss it, you miss the opportunity of letting your hard-earned cash work for you. So as we start back our news tonight, Trinidad and Tobago, former National Security Minister, Opposition Chief Whip Marvin Gonzalez, has condemned the Commissioner of Police for finally breaking his silence. Oh, my mistake, commended, my mistake, for finally breaking his silence on the recent illegal release of the interception audio communication. However, he said the announcement does not absolve the Prime Minister and the Attorney General from breaking their silence on this scandal, and it does not fully the calls for the removal of the Minister of Homeland Security and the Attorney General from office. Now, I'll tell you this, I'll tell you this. None of the PNM administration, none of the PNM leaders, none of the PNM MPs resigned from their position in the last 10 years. So by the PNM administration calling for ministers of the UNC administration to resign, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. Now, Gonzalez said that the matter sends a clear message that the security apparatus is not serious, and said the citizen does not have confidence in the state security. Hold on. So Marvin is telling the citizen of Trinidad and Tobago that the citizen does not have confidence in the state security. I want to ask Marvin Gonzalez, when Fitzgerald Hines said, "It is not my job to make the citizen feel safe," didn't you think back then that the citizen lost confidence in TDPS and Fitzgerald Hines? Didn't you think that? But now you want to come out and say you are not a member of the present administration that is governing the country. You're coming out and say now that the citizen does not have confidence in the state security. Trying to make you listen to this.
When the country woke up to this disclosure of alleged interception of communication by the Hadid, or someone that is in prison as we speak, or is in detention as we speak, and days after, even up to today, the Commissioner of Police, who is an authorized officer under the Act, the Chief of Defense Staff, and the Director of the SSA have not spoken to the country on this very serious issue. And by not so doing, they have damaged the confidence that citizens ought to have, not only in their offices, but in state security.
But Marvin, you was minister for 5 years and nobody had confidence in you. Nobody had confidence in you. People lost confidence in the state when murders reaching up to 600 a year under all your administration. You want to talk about state security? What was the state doing when you was the Minister of National Security for the PNM that was governing Trinidad and Tobago? Murders up to 600 and you did nothing. The one before you, Fitzgerald Hines, said it is not his job. So what you all were really doing? Now you want to come and talk about the states? Trinidad and Tobago, he said, officials are abusing the use of preventative detention order, PDOs, to determine innocent citizens. When innocent citizens were being gunned down on the streets, when innocent citizens were being robbed, when innocent citizens' homes were being ambushed by bandits. Marvin, what were you doing? I want to know. Trinidad and Tobago wants to know. Why don't you come out and tell us what you were doing? So if you guys take a listen at this now.
state officials not having evidence to put persons before a court, they are abusing the use of PDOs to detain innocent citizens. They reach a stage because the Hadids are of means and they can fight their rights before the courts, and all of the way to the Privy Council. The Privy Council shut their doors on the government of Trinidad and Tobago. The Minister of Homeland Security was left with no other choice but to revoke the preventative detention orders, and then days after, you issue this leak video to somehow change the narrative.
So viewers, Gonzal added that Attorney General John Jeremy must also speak on the issue of the leaked intercepted communication, given the aspect of the SSA falls under his purview. Meanwhile, the PNM Senator Renuka Sagram Singh Suklal has responded to the leaked audio tape, saying what she heard was the frustration of a citizen. Listen to this.
About the Prime Minister, what are your thoughts on the kind of language that was used? Have you heard the audio?
I have heard the audio. I'm of East Indian descent and I take no offense by what was stated in that recording, and I will tell you why. When we frequently refer to the Lebanese and Syrian community as a 1%, do we do that with the intention of, isn't that done with the intention of also being prejudiced towards that group in society and being derogatory towards them? So, and that's why I started when I said, while passports and visas can be revoked, my birth paper cannot be revoked. And citizens of this country, whether you're 1%, 2%, 100%, you're a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And you deserve to be respected.
Deserve to be respected, you say? You know, you should have told your Prime Minister when you were in the PNM to respect women a little more. You talk about we classing them as 1%, and we want to talk bad about them. But there's a video circulating where the 1% hierarchy sit down around a table, and they were having dinner. And they said that they are the 1%, a small majority, but yet the most powerful in the country. So, Renuka, where were you? Where were you? You want to talk about respect? When you want to talk about respect, meet Karim Marcel and teach him how to talk. That is what you have to do. To start off, meet him and talk to him. Tell him how to address a crowd. You want to talk about respect? Now, she also reiterated that she took no offense by being called a certain term. But you can't have no offense with that. You cannot have none. Listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago.
I am an East Indian Hindu, very proud woman, and a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, and I take no offense. And I take no offense because what I heard in that audio was the ranting of a frustrated citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. And if our leaders took offense by being called or referred to by a certain term, then they need to cease and desist from referring to other people by similar terms. And they need to operate in a way as if they are working for Trinidad and Tobago, not just for East Indian people or a certain ethnic group in this country. And I say that without fear of contradiction.
She mentioned frustration. And I will say this again. When Clogging Burt made Trinidad and Tobago pay property tax, you know what he said? To back it up, if you don't pay property tax, you will be charged $5,000. And that will become a criminal offense. That is when people got frustrated and they voted out PNM when that time reached. She said, work for the people. Imagine Renuka telling the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago that the government must work for them. When she was in under the leadership of Dr. Keith Rowley, Dr. Keith Rowley told Trinidad and Tobago citizens to wean off the government. How long PSA didn't have a negotiation? How long teachers couldn't negotiate? Fire couldn't negotiate. Police couldn't negotiate. The army couldn't negotiate. WASA couldn't negotiate. TNT couldn't negotiate. But Madam Suklal wants to come to tell Trinidad and Tobago that the government must work for the people. Who her government was working for? When Rowley said we know of the government. When Clongenberg said take 4% or nothing. Who were they working for? So I wonder if Suklal now ain't shame to come and say those things on an interview. I wonder if she ain't shame. But then again, Saieed Ali is here to remind you. Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break, but still locked on. When we come back, we're going to hear Penny and the insurrections of the July 27 coup in 1990. More when we return.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
True growth shouldn't make you wait. This month, Real Talk Financing is changing the timeline. Get up to 7% interest on a fixed deposit paid to you upfront. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Real results sooner. Call our Central or South branches today.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, welcome back to Real Talk. 36 years ago, armed insurgentists tried to overthrow the country's democratically elected government in an attack on Parliament, the Prime Minister, and the rules of law itself. 24 citizens died, and many more still carrying the physical and emotional scars. In a message marking the anniversary, opposition leader Penelope Buckles paid tribute to those killed, to the security force who defended the nation, and to the families who lost lives. And lives were changed in that week of July 1990. According to Beckles, there is one lesson that this generation can't afford to forget. She says, quote, "The greatest lesson of the July 27, 1990 in July 2027. No, July 27. July 27, 1990 is a democracy must never be taken for granted. Penelope is linking that warning to recent and present event in the country, including the ongoing state of emergency. So Trinidad and Tobago, on July 27, 1990, it was a historic day created in this country. First time our country has ever experienced something like that. Masked men entered parliament and decided to overthrow, I believe that was the ANR government back in those days. People died, soldiers stand forth on rooftop for days until the gunmen, I should say, decided to give up. But nevertheless, that is a day that is written in history in Trinidad and Tobago as a bloody week. Those who could remember would remember. Those who cannot remember, it will be a history to go into. But nevertheless, viewers, moving on tonight. Residents of Eccles Village are getting easier access to government service as several agencies brought their service directly into the community. The outreach program hosted at the Ecclesville Presbyterian School and led by Member of Parliament from Mayaro, Nicholas Morris, focused on assisting residents, including farmers and agriculture community. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, this is what I like, eh? This is what I like. The minister took it upon himself to go way down in Mayaro, Ecclesville area to bring the community together by offering the government service. The government service, which I must applaud the minister for doing this. Now, as a person, give Jack where the jacket is, you know. Now, this program allows government agencies to provide information and support and service close to home. One of the agencies participating was TT Connect, which provided residents with information on accessing government service and assistance with applications. Listen to this, viewers.
What we have here today in the community of Ecclesville, it is officials from the ERHA, from NAMDEFCO, from ADB, from TT Connect, from the Cocoa Board, from the Predelasny Squad, and again NAMDEFCO. And there's a reason why we have a number of organizations from the Ministry of Agriculture. Ecclesville is a key agricultural community within this constituency, and one of the key things is to give support to farmers. So that is why today we are very pleased to have brought these government services to the Ecclesville community.
So viewers, customer service specialist Catherine Paul stated that this community engagement helps bring support directly to people who may face challenges accessing traditional service location. Listen to this.
We also offer information for government services as well. So you can come to TT Connect and you can register for gates as well as you can register for e-tax currently. We also partner with different ministries. We come to communities to bring services closer to home and where persons are not able to visit offices.
So now, viewers, I must commend Nicholas and his ministry for reaching out to Ecclesville. Now, the Ecclesville outreach forms part of a wider series of community engagement planned across Mayaro constituency aimed at connecting residents with essential government service and support. So Trinidad and Tobago, you see when they do things like this, you will get production. Production. People who couldn't get service, you're going into the depths of the rural community, as we call it, to render service from the government. And let me tell you something, this is what the people want to see. The people want to see the ministers coming to them, bringing service to them, bringing help to them, bringing education to them, bringing dedication to them, bringing growth and success to a community. And I always say on my show, I always say this, if every minister looks after their community, Trinidad and Tobago will be a better place. That will be a better place. But when you have community that ain't seen their councillor and ain't seen their minister, and one day they died somewhere along the line after winning election, what you expect? You expect our community to vote out the MP. You expect our community to vote out the councillor. Remember when we used to have our Wednesday night program, highlighting councillors and MPs and the roads, the condition of the roads and the bridges. I said, put them on spot. The community not seeing you. Julian John, your community wants to see you. The road need patching. So hopefully now up in Ecclesville, Mr. Nicholas could get electricity for the residents that cannot get electricity. They're going to fix the lights. They're going to repair the light pole, street light. They're going to get water to the community. They're going to get internet in the community. They're going to get the roads paved, maybe the bridges built. And this is all on Nicholas, the minister for the area. So once he decides to move forward with his community, we are going to highlight the growth in the community. That is what we are going to do. So viewers, you know, it's nice to actually see ministers going down to the community. When last you all saw a representative? When last? When last you all saw someone coming to fix the road, someone coming to check water line, someone coming to check street light, someone coming to make sure that the community is being upgraded? When last did you all see that? I tell you, we are the only show in Trinidad and Tobago that highlights these issues. Calling out the ministers, calling out the councillors, calling out the citizens. Hey, call upon your minister, call upon your councillor. They're collecting a salary to serve you. That is what they are there for. Our taxpayer money is paying these ministers and them. So in the coming weeks now, once Nicholas decided to highlight this community and what he intends to do for the community, we are going to keep you updated on what he is doing for the community and the growth the community is growing. We're going to keep you updated on that. So viewers, it is time now that I must say good night. It was nice being here educating you all. Remember, our Runners program is tomorrow from 11 to 12:30 p.m. We'll be right back here another night from 7 p.m. as we go live again. Until, be safe and enjoy.